Welcome back to the Devin Zoolander Show. I'm your host, Devin Zoolander, and I'm feeling so good because we're having such a robust discussion with Domanique Jazmin, who is the coolest person in the world because she's here on a Saturday. She could be anywhere in the world, but she's here with me, and I appreciate you. I believe a rapper once said that. But anyway, let's not get caught up in the minutia, if you will. I'm sorry, I just want to drop random SAT words. As a woman that has her own business, is an entrepreneur, and is helping to work with other women, do you face any challenges
with working with other women or helping other women,
or being a woman and trying to navigate certain things? Or since you're doing entrepreneurship instead of corporate, is it you are more in control?
Yeah, I feel like with being an entrepreneur, you really put your fate in your own hands, which can be good or bad in a sense. If you're a go-getter, you know, it's great.
Yeah.
So it's worked well for me. I feel like the clients that I end up working with are clients that are attracted to, you know, my values, the things that I find important, and we kind of click. So I've been, you know, privileged in that way, but at the same time, I don't have to work with anybody that I don't want to. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So if I get an inquiry, and thank goodness this hasn't happened, but if I were to get an inquiry and I felt like that person didn't align with my business and what I believe in, I don't have to work with them. So that's the empowering thing about it.
Yeah. There was a time when I was a spoken word god, and I would cross stages and I would do things and I would be really excited and I would see other artists performing. My natural inclination was to reach out to them and be like, hey, how can we work together? But something you said just struck me. So in an earlier podcast episode, I talked about the concept of thirst, but I was talking about it from the perspective of pursuing someone for romantic reasons.
Yeah.
But now I want to shift the focus of that term into the business realm or into like the collaborative space. And what's the difference between being eager to work with others in your field versus being thirsty? And if you venture too far into the thirst part, how might that lead to you maybe compromising your brand?
Yeah, so when we talk about working with other creative or entrepreneurs, I've been blessed in the sense that the community that I have, which is all virtual, it's all through Instagram, has been really awesome. I've met a lot of amazing people that are also in the same industry, and they have the mindset that it's what do they call it? Community over competition, where they just want to help each other. We all want to help each other.
Absolutely.
So I've been blessed in the sense that those are the people that I've come across. So I don't really deal with too many thirsty people that want to work with me.
Right.
But I'll say this, if it's a client, I think that there is some eagerness that they have to work with me and me with them as well. I need to be just as invested and excited about the project as them.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's not going to work. Like,
Right.
I need to feel like this is somewhere that I can make a change and help them, you know. If it's working with another designer, which I have done in the past, I would say that it's just making sure that you aren't constantly pulling without giving. So, like, just on Friday, I reached out to another designer and asked her a question because I knew she had dealt with this type of situation before. But my DMs are always open for her as well. So it's not, like, in a sense that I'm always just like, hey, can you help me with this? Hey, can you help me with that? Because that other person has got there from doing the work. So it's no fair for me to try to coattail on what they've learned. But if I'm also willing to, you know, it's just like a give and take type of thing, then I think it's looked less as thirsty and more as just like collaboration.
Right. And I think that the context of the relationship matters. Since you've rebranded, has there been anyone that you've known for years that has reached out to you, but you just felt like maybe it wasn't as sincere, or that they were trying to skip a few steps, or that they didn't fully understand what services you provide or understand when they contact you and they talk like why your prices are the way they are? Has there been anyone like that?
I would say there hasn't really been anyone that I felt like has tried to skip a few steps, but there are definitely people that don't understand what I do. So they'll reach out to me, you know, and say like, hey, I need a logo, or somebody needs a logo. Can you help them out? And creating logos is such a small piece of what I do that it's like when I first started, before I rebranded, I did take on a lot of what they call a la carte projects, which is just like small one-off things. Maybe a person needs a flyer or something like that. But I don't do that anymore. I'm more so interested in like the whole bigger picture of building a brand. And if I spend all my time doing these small projects that, you know, there's just not much substance to them, it takes away from my time to really get fully invested and help someone see results in a bigger picture. So I think it's more just about me educating people on what I do, because they don't know what you don't show them. So that's why I try to show kind of like the behind the scenes of my business and really talk about it on my YouTube channel and on my website, because a lot of times people just don't know. They think, oh, so-and-so needs a website, Dominique can do it. And it's not that I'm above doing, you know, but they just don't get the transformation that I take people through. They think it's just like they need a party flyer, like hit up Dominique, and I don't do that anymore.
Right. Well, that's really important. I'm glad that you I won't say cleared it up, because I'm not trying to say that people didn't get it the first time, but I do think it's important to reiterate what it is that you do, and just making sure that people know if you're coming to me, like I'm about an experience. I'm about like, it's kind of like, so to use an example for me, it's kind of like, all right, it's college and there's a party going on and I need to get a haircut. And I know that I'm far away from home, so the barber I normally go to is not accessible to me at this present moment. But there's this woman I want to talk to, and I can't talk to her with my busted fade. So how do I do this? So there's a brother down the hall that he cuts, and he's not as dynamic as your guy back home, but he still is good enough to get the job done. I think the reason why I bring that up is because there's a difference between, and I'm not trying to put anyone on a pedestal, but I think there's a difference between understanding someone that can line you up one time because it's an emergency versus someone, because if we really want to get into it, like our bodies, our faces, our clothing, like all that stuff is part of our brand. And people need to understand that I'm not the shape up dude, or I'm not the person that's just going to touch up your edges real quick. Like, no, I'm giving you the locks, I'm giving you everything, I'm giving you the little sparkle things that they sell at that store that's in Bakery Square with the Trader Joe's. What is that place? Hair Masters. I was about to say from the hood. Don't act like you don't know. Have me out here talking about. I mean, he talking about some other shit. But anyway, I say all that to say it is important for people to know that you're not here just to do logos.
And there, like you said, there's not knocking people that do it. I think that there's a need for everybody. You know what I mean? But someone who is just looking for a quick logo, they're not interested in the time investment that it requires to work with me, or the financial investment. They want something fast and quick that they can, you know what I mean? So there's a person that caters to that person. Someone who is looking for, you know, design that's going to bring them like tangible monetary results. They're not looking for someone that whips them up a logo in 10 minutes. They need a different type of service. So that's why I feel like when people say, you know, the industry is too saturated. No, it's not. There's someone to serve each type of need out there.
And man, you dropping so many jewels. You said something that made me think. So I got it. So what I'm gathering from you is that it seems like, you know how, I mean, I know people that have been, I haven't been to therapy, but I know people that have gone to therapy. And I know that from talking to them, it's not like you walk in, you do one session, and you're fixed, and childhood trauma is gone, or whatever you're going through is gone. So what I'm gathering from listening to you talk more is that some of the things that people are looking for is just kind of a very transactional, impersonal interaction with someone. Hey, let me go. What's that one? Is it Fiverr? I don't know.
Yeah, Fiverr.
Right, Fiverr. But then there's another one too that somebody was telling me about where you need a logo done. All right, pay me $5 and I'll do it. But it's just really like quick. But with you, it seems like you actually cultivate a relationship where it's not like I go to the well one time of your knowledge. I can keep coming back. So can you tell me a little bit more about why it's important for you to cultivate genuine relationships with your clients?
Yeah, so it's, if you think of like the quick fast logo, you know, as just like a, like you said, transactional one and done, you can think of what I do as like an intensive, because it's 7 weeks long that I'm working with this person. So we're going through like all the stages of their business. It's not just their website and, you know, the graphics and Instagram, but it's really the psychology behind why people even buy from them. So it's a lot of stuff, which is why it's not just like a fast thing. But also it's just important to build that relationship because it makes the process more enjoyable for the both of us. You know, I get to know them, you know, and their business on a very personal, intimate level. And whenever you have a business and you're opening it up to someone to come and see all the inner workings of it, it's very personal. When you build a brand like that, it's your baby. So it has to be, you know, at a personal level so that both of us can operate and get the things that we need to get done, you know, comfortably.
And it seems like there's also, I can't help but analogize this to being a barber or being a hairstylist, just because when you think of the really good relationships, like you want your person and you want to keep going back to them. And when you sit in the chair, you're sometimes confiding in that person. You're talking about your fears. You're being vulnerable. And I feel like your ability to maintain the humanity and to get the pulse of where the person is and to walk with them with compassion while you're providing professional service, I think that's dynamite.
Thank you. Yeah, that's a perfect analogy. That's like literally exactly what it is.
Cool.
But for business. Right.
Yeah, there we go. I'm glad I got it. All right. Well, I think that concludes all of my questions. So I want to thank you very much for coming. And I would be remiss if I didn't give you a parting gift. Please hold. It's gonna get real. All right, so let me, just a little something, just a little token of my appreciation, just to show you, like, I care. I see you, homie. Like, what I'm saying, you cool, or so they say.
Scared.
All right, so let's see what we got back here. Just a little something. Okay, and now usually I don't do this, but I think I'm gonna go ahead and break them off a piece of the remix. But I'm not gonna say who sings that song because that person is currently not on the favorable list of anything that we listen to. But I meant to have this behind my back so that you could see it. And I know that I almost slipped. And I know that this might not be your scent, and it might not be, and you might be thinking, I don't really need this. I mean, why would you give this to me? But I have to admit that I was at Bath and Body Works one time, and they were having their annual sale.
Is it a candle?
Yeah. Oh. So here you are.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. I don't know what scent it is.
It doesn't matter. No, if it's from Bath and Body Works,
it's official.
It's official. It's like an official
let's see
thing.
What we got.
Oh man.
Take that wrapper for you.
Champagne toast. Yes. I'm gonna sniff it.
Okay. Get your sniff on.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
I appreciate that.
You're absolutely
it smells
welcome.
Amazing.
That's great. This has been another episode of the Devin Zoolander Show. I am so happy that you all are tuning in, and please stay tuned for more content. And I probably will be reaching out to Domanique to get some pointers about how I can grow my brand. Thank you very much.